YouTube? Topaz Yates here with another album review, and this time we're going into this Kid Cudi Speeding Bullet to Heaven full album review and such, man. And you know what's interesting, as you continue to read into it, Kid Cudi is rather upset with everybody trying to define this as a hip-hop based album, and he's absolutely right about it. And he's especially pointing fingers at iTunes and all of that shit. And I feel him because it comes off like they didn't listen to the album at all, nor did they even ask anybody affiliated with the album where to classify it. They just took it. It's Kid Cudi. It has to be fucking hip-hop, which is absolutely fucking not. So for all of those who was hoping for some hip-hop here, me included, you're assed out. It's more alternative, as he said so himself. And that really does fuck up Kid Cudi when you think about it, man, because he's not getting that big promotion from the label or nothing like that, you dig? So he really only has maybe 2-3 days to attack the fan base that he really needs to attack. And seeing as though people like to stick to the genre of music that they like the most instead of just expand out on a bunch of different stuff, it may have fucked him up in sales all the way around. But overall, this album just wasn't any good from beginning to end. And I already know his fan base is gonna be upset about me saying that shit. And they probably gonna say things like, well, you know, it's alternative and you just aren't that big of a fan of alternative shit. Nah, bruh. Even though this show is specifically targeted to hip-hop and underground rappers and such, man, I still listen to a bunch of different types of music, man. A lot of things that people wouldn't expect me to fucking like. I mean, I like a lot of rock type music and such, man, going from Linkin Park to goddamn Evanescence and shit. So miss me on that bullshit. And then I'm sure they're gonna be like, well, you know, he's doing something different, unique, true to himself, all of that shit. You gotta give it some leeway. Nah, bruh. People have made alternative albums for a long motherfucking time. Even though I wanted hip-hop, I still gave this a legitimate fucking listen, and it just was not any fucking good. The reasons being, much like the title track and such, the concepts that he's putting together does not really mesh well with the production that he got here. I mean, the overall production really brought this project all the way down, one, and two, the fact that he's not really that good of a singer. Like, I know that when you're doing rock or something, you don't have to be the greatest motherfucking singer, but it would fucking help if he had a decent voice to pull it off. He doesn't. Now, what I did like about it is how he did in a bunch of skits brought in the actual voices of Beavis and Butthead, because this kind of came off as a long episode of Beavis and Butthead because it had the same types of music that they played back on the damn show, and it was just themed based around them taking shrooms and such. Very interesting, but when I like the skits more than the actual fucking music, then you got a fucking problem. There's only but 2 tracks on here that were kinda decent. That Wedding Tux and that Embers, in which both of those tracks had their own particular issues as well. Overall, a terrible album that I would not motherfucking recommend, man. I give it a 2 out of 10, especially seeing as though there's 18 motherfucking tracks on here, but there's actually more than that because it's a double disc, which the second half is more of the demos and just extra tracks that really didn't mean too much of shit. I mean, for as long as it was, there really wasn't any quality music that came out of it, so that was very fucking frustrating. But this concludes today's review, man, and we're gonna jump into a brief instrumental from underground producer J-Trax before we talk about something that went down in the news. Then we're gonna jump into an article from downloadpass.com. So did you guys hear that Big Sean's home got broken into while he's out of the country and such right now, man? In which what they got off of him was $150,000 worth of jewelry and such, and then on top of that, they hit him with unreleased music. And you know, I'm not too concerned about none of that shit because I don't think Big Sean will be hurting by $150,000 worth of jewelry. And the fact if they try to move them damn songs or something, they gonna get caught with that shit. I mean, but the scary thing about it is it kind of comes off as an inside job because who would have fucking knew that he was going out of town? That's somebody who's definitely following him, somebody who may be cool with him. That's the scary thing about that shit. But anyway, on to today's article from downloadpass.com, and today's article is about stupid money, because you guys have to understand, it is not illegal for anybody to take money from a stupid individual and shit, man. I mean, just because you don't know how the shit is going down does not mean somebody's gonna sit down and break it down to you so you can be a more informed fucking buyer. it. That's up to you. If you're not informed by it, people's gonna take advantage of you, and it's not motherfucking illegal to do that shit. Much like in the music industry and shit, dude, people are going to take advantage of you if you don't understand the concepts of your masters, if you don't understand your fucking publishing, in which that's something all rappers tend to hear about, but they never spend the time to research it to figure out exactly what the fuck it means. If you're gonna follow the record labels blindly like an idiot, they're going to take you for all you're worth. Simple and fucking plain. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there, and you can go to downloadpads.com, that's down there, to read today's article.